numbers matrix rows, that is rows with we index number I, and index it will be incremented by I plus 1, and it will be masked 1 to 5 that has been given on this index number. And swap also neighboring matrix also. So this index number or matrix column will be incremented by j plus 1, and their condition must 1 to 5 number. So you think that a matrix looks beautiful if the single number one of the matrix is located in the middle. So it is the point that why this code is called a beautiful matrix, because they want to show this matrix in the middle way. When there has a single one, when it will be located on the middle side, then it will show us as a beautiful matrix. So it is our challenge to continue this matrix and transfer the value of 1 into the middle section. So, and we must count the minimum number, that how much time we should move this is 1 to matrix beautiful. So the input here is the input. At that point we must there has 5 integers also contains its input represent, and 5 integers for the JTS column represent. So there must be 24 zeros and single number 1, and we must print a number, that how much time we move our 1 into the left, right, and column to row. So we should print the how much time we move this number. So if we want to see our example, then we can see that there has 5 into 5 matrix. So there has 5 rows and there has 5 also columns. So the condition has been given that there must be 24 column will be there must be 24 must be 0, and 1 a single unit must be on 1. So 1 single unit there has given. So when we can see that it should not if we can see this scenario, so we must say that it must not have so much beautiful as well as. But if we want to look like a beautiful matrix, so we should move this single unit 1 like row like left, right, and upper and lower. So we must move this 1, and we must be placed this one on this section, that is called a 3 into 3 positions. So when we 1 will be moved, and we must move to this 1 and take into this as a place into 3 into 3 matrix to show our matrix beautiful. So now when we will move, we must move this one in on one side. So we must below this 1 position, so moved on 1, and then we move this one in this position, so that will be counted as 2, and we must move this one into this position, and finally then we must counted this movement as 3. So we can say that there has 3 movement occurs in this input section. On this section, in another input, we can see that the movement of 1 has been only 1 time, because so when it will be moved on the right side, then it will we can find out the beautiful matrix. If we want to if you want to give you some example like that. There has an I and there has an J that has been also declared on this section, and that will be a column section, and that will be a a row section, and it must be a 5 rows, and the dependent on I, and it must be a 5 columns, and that must be dependent on that must be dependent on J. So our one has on this section. So if we see that, we can say this is the index number 1, index 2, this is the index 3, index 4, and it is the index 5. It is based on the value of J, and for the value of I, which is based on row, then we can say that 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a such. So we can find our position of 2 to 5. So our value of the value of the one position on the value is 2 to 5, means it is on the value, it is on the row on I 2, and it is the it has the position of this one is the column of 5. So it is, we call this 2 to 5, but we need to move this one into this section, that is called a 3 to 3 positions, so which are fixed. It is a fixed for our whole output of this beautiful matrix, but it will be changed because one can be on this position, one can be on this position, but all will be at the same, will become at the same places on this 3 into 3 positions. So we can also say that it is our value of I, and it is our value of J, because it will be the row, it is the row position on I, and it is the column position of J. So when we want to move this one, so we must move this section. So we can say that when we can write as 2 minus 3, like when 2 minus 3, it will be find that 1, but it will be find negative value. So we should make absolute value to find the actual positive output, because we must not have any type of negative value. So it will be find in 1, so it will be movement. When we I values and I values will be subtracted, then it will be find the value of 1. It means it will be movement 1 position, so we can move on 1 position. And also we can find, when we can find the J position like 5 and minus 3, then we can say that it will be movement on column position and 2, so it will be movement on column position 1 and 2. So then it will be find that the total movement have been occurred, that 1 plus 2 means 3 movement. There has a 3 movement, we can find our output. So we can write this code as equations. So we can write as I minus 3 is the fixed position of this input values, and there will be additions, and find the J value. J and I will be a different types of value, but 3 will be a constant. So J minus the 3. So it will be our mathematical equations to find our output. Now we can see our output through the code. We must take input I and take input J. Also take, for the input section we must input like a number, so you can say as n. Now we must create a matrix. For the matrix we should take input using a nested for loop. So we use the nested for loop I equal to starting with a 1 and must be ending with a 5, which has a condition, and it will be incremented by 1, and using another loop for the position of, because on a matrix we can see that there has two position and row and column, so it will be used for the row section and it will be used for the column section. So j equal to 1 and it must be or equal to 5 and j incremented by 1, and this must be used for the column section, and it is a comment section for this. Now we can say that when we find, we must take input like 1, so input a number. So when we take input a number, we must take input number like 0 1, it will be taken. So when if if the value of n, if our input value equal to 1, then we can use our we can use our code as to find our output of the movement output, like we can use the absolute value, absolute function I minus 3 mathematical equation plus absolute function to j minus 3, and it must be ended, and we did not anymore. If we found our 1 and there has found our movement, then we need not to continue our code, so we can also we can break our code. We need not this to continue our code. Now we run, when we run this code, so we take our input, like we copy this input and paste this input, then we can see that there has our actual output like 3. We can find that our movement has was 3, and now I want to say you some like that I must use this std dot std library of C++ to take all types of function. But if we use this library function of strem iostream, then when it will run, then we can see that there has an erratic error on our code, and the error has been said that because of when we used our C code, then we can find this error. So when you can see that there has an error, or there has it cannot be declared and it cannot be find absolute function. So we must take another library function like std standard library function, and this function used to use to declare the absolute function, so we can find our actual output on this section. So we must now copy and to submit this code. So we can see that the output has been accepted on our code, and thank you so much for this. So you will be find this code in my description section. So thank you so much.